This could be interesting.
Shut up, numpties!
I'm sure we'll get to Mourinho soon, but we have a chance at a trophy, the German Super Cup. Now, it may not be as prestigious as the Kazakhstan Super Cup,
Very nice.
but it's a trophy nonetheless. Plus, Bayern decided to sell their starting goalkeeper to United, and they had to start an 18-year-old.
So,
Transfer-wise, when I saw this new gen from Monaco, I had to snap him up. While he isn't naturally a left back, despite being left-footed, I was sure he'd be great there. This led to some fullback exits. Jordan Frick became an angry man after I signed Luka Netz last season, and this year, I sent him to Zenit for 40 million. While Denilson Rodriguez went on loan to PSV, Andre Fernandez was going to explore his contract options at the end of the season. That was until I sold him to Atletico Madrid for over 30 million. In exchange, he started 2 matches.
What's your life worth?
The center back playing time situation from last season resolved itself with Tapsoba moving to Arsenal as he wanted a new challenge. Kasonu, on the other hand, still wanted to leave, and despite him skipping training during preseason, he stayed. Plus, due to injuries, he actually got a decent amount of playing time. Yusuf Demir also wanted to leave, and with 1 year left on his contract, it was problematic. However, I have too much money anyways, so I decided to keep him and lose him for free because we weren't going to get a better option than him off the bench. We also brought in Emiliano Martinez as a backup keeper. With all that settled, the league season began with Bayern having a shocking result. We had them on the 4th match day, although they seem to have rebounded by then. The good times didn't last too long as we drew Werder Bremen right before, and with us having a shocking record against Bayern, I decided to try a different system. It's similar to the one used in the Liverpool comeback, and like that game, it was super tight. Sadly, Kylian Mbappe is fast and we lost 1-0. And yes, Bayern actually got a keeper.
Now is not a good time.
Soon after, Lewandowski got a broken foot. With this guy dominating world football throughout this entire save, I would love for him to break down and finally retire. But he still had 1 year left on his deal. Mbappe has 2 years left, and I just hope that he leaves.
I know.
For now, it seems like it's becoming a situation of waiting them out. Additionally, our contract is running out at the end of this season, and after several negotiations going astray, will we even be here next season? Better yet, will we even win a trophy? It wouldn't be the Champions League. Despite having a fine group on paper, the second match against Everton provided one of the most shocking performances of my FM career. The thought in my head was to rotate the entire side because, lads, it's Everton. But I soon regretted that decision. The goals just kept going in. My center backs were an absolute disgrace. Acuna, who I bought several years ago, had developed and looked like a decent rotation option. However, the man is all talk. He hasn't had a good season of football since he was in Mexico. I never played him in another match, sent him on loan to Hamburg during the January, and look at the results. 2 red cards in the league, another in the Europa League, and a shocking average rating. Gekter hasn't developed as much as I would have liked, and barely played. After back-to-back losses to Serie A winners AC Milan, we were basically mudded. Europa League, here we come. The Bundesliga season was going fine. We were winning quite a bit and keeping a lot of clean sheets. Some matches that were drawn probably should have been wins based on expected goals. Then there were matches where our strikers couldn't even hit a skyscraper, and others where last-minute goals saved us. Then we had Dortmund in December, our first encounter with Mourinho. In Football Manager, Mourinho has always been that guy that riled me up, so I decided to give it back in this save. This was obviously done in press conferences where I said things that he probably wouldn't like, and that ended up being true. The match itself, they did absolutely nothing but defend. However, I bet getting a red wasn't in his game plan. And losing 2-0 made me pretty smug. Mourinho was pissed after the match and his time at Dortmund was a disaster. Despite having Moukoko, the team struggled and we wouldn't get another match against Jose. Dortmund ended up missing out on the Champions League and Mourinho was sacked well before the season ended. Let's go! Mission accomplished!
Respect.
By the time we played Bayern again, the gap between us was just 3 points. Like against a lot of big teams, we scored early, which I always say, never score early against Bayern. For some reason, it just angers them more. Poor marking led to the equalizer, a corner ending up at Lewandowski's head made it 2-1, and Lewandowski combining with Mbappe made it 3-1. I decided to switch to a 4-2-2 at halftime, leading to a back post header from Guiri quite early into the half. Then, nothing happened until the last 10 minutes. They had a corner that got cleared off the line. A few minutes later, Guiri got sent on a one-on-one. Somehow just completely misses the net. Soon after, Lewandowski scored 4-2. Game over. Zabarny, who was playing incredible this season, was injured right before this match. Vardiol and Livramento had injuries in the first half this season, and with us refusing to play Gekter and Acuna, the Italian named Wisdom Ame, who isn't a regen, was signed. Only 22, but he's got some of the best physicals I've ever seen, at least for a center back. I would face him into the squad more as the campaign went on, but he ended up scoring 4 goals and was incredible throughout the season. In the Europa League playoff match, we played PSV, which it was simple, 6-2 on aggregate. That resulted in Chelsea for the round of 16. Niko Kovac is currently their guy, and he made the bold move to play Mount and Havertz in the midfield too. I decided to see if they could track the center mid on attack run, which is apparently overpowered. And they didn't, with Ronaldo Pinzon scoring. In all honesty, Chelsea weren't doing that much. Gil made it 2-0, and we should have made it 3, but Karadeniz somehow missed an empty net. Guess what he did in the next match? So you're telling me Karadeniz can score this? Yup. Nevertheless, a great advantage into the second leg, and while Chelsea played much better, an early goal and a somewhat late goal from Guiri was enough to give us the edge. Leipzig lost to Rangers in penalties, which meant we were going to Scotland. Scotland! It was really easy. The final 4 had us against Inter with Arsenal versus Gladbach. In the meantime, our time in the DFB Pokal was successful. That led to the draw where there was a team I clearly wanted to avoid. I hate this game. I hate an away game too. We were having a great run of form. Despite getting XG massively against Greuther Fürth and Leipzig, the team was in a good mood. Yeah, it sucks having to play Bayern, but if we want to win this trophy, you have to beat the best. Just ignore the first season. I decided to make a slight tweak to our main system. Drop Bannekem into midfield with Olmo, then I dropped Pinzon from a box-to-box midfielder to anchorman. Everything else remained the same. The change seemed to have worked initially. A great chance from Gil was saved, which you could say separates us from reaching Bayern's level. Not so fast. He finds Gil. Gil. He crosses it to Bannekem. Bannekem scores! In the second half, Bayern brought in 2 fresh midfielders. I anticipated a late run into the box from one of them. I picked the wrong one. All even? Not for long.
Watch out! He's got a cross now with his hand in his pocket. He's been told about it. It's off. It's red.
Okay, we get a free kick right away here. Olmo whips it. The ref blows the whistle. He's checking VAR. Penal. Olmo can put us up 2-1 with 10 minutes left with a man advantage. Can he do it? Let's go! We were able to congest the middle of the field and see out the victory. The side was heading back to the DFB Pokal final for the first time in 6 years, and we'd be playing Freiburg. The Europa League semi-final against Inter was tight. The first leg ended 0-0, and I decided to use the 4-2-2 in the home tie. The most marginal of offsides took away an early lead, but that didn't stop Ronaldo Pinzon making that run from midfield to give us the lead. It soon went away after Lautaro scored a tap-in. The second half had us missing 2 clear chances, which means extra time. They switched formations, so despite us having the slight edge in chances, I did too. A close tie which saw Inter go through to the final. They ended up losing to Arsenal on penalties. On a bright note, we saw Tapsoba finally win a trophy. Bayern narrowly won their games in the season-ending stretch. We, on the other hand, did fairly well with the only stain in our last 8 matches being a loss to Dortmund. Despite scoring the most, conceding the least, having the highest average rating, most assisted player, and the keeper with the most clean sheets, the side still finished 7 points behind Bayern. Who cares about that? It was our turn to be in the final. And of course, Leverkusen hasn't won a trophy since 1993. The DFB Pokal. Freiburg did finish 6th in the league, but on paper, it should be a win. That's what I thought last time. It also didn't help that Guardiola and Guiri got injured just before the match. Despite that, we striked first. We were building ourselves in this game, and then...
What a goal!
Oh, yeah, he's gonna get a lot of grief for that, oh my gosh. Holy, is this gonna be a blowout? However, just minutes later, he finds Olmo, Olmo from distance, bottom right corner. Take that out of your net. 3-1 Leverkusen, let's go! Karadeniz, who would replace Guiri for this final, would cap off his man of the match display with a goal for himself. Oh, Karadeniz, he wins the ball! Karadeniz! He starts in the final, he gets the goal from our academy! For the first time since 1993, Bayer Leverkusen are going to win a trophy. The first trophy in our save, we have finally done it. After 7 seasons. Zabarny, the captain, as we lift up the DFB Pokal and have won the trophy. Let's go! My contract is up. I don't know what my future is, but for now, we don't need to worry about that.